Now, I'm here to announce that, unfortunately, last night, we lost Drake. Very sad situation. Drake was a good artist, and as you might know, Pusha T is actually the person who's responsible here. Very sad, very sad situation, and I can't believe it. I can't believe it myself. Aubrey Drake Graham is no longer with us, but his art will forever live on. Rest in peace to Drake. We will miss you. I can't believe Drake is gone. I can't believe he's gone. Now, by this time, I think you've most likely heard about the entire Pusha T versus Drake situation. If for some strange reason you still haven't heard about it, here's a quick little recap. Drake and Pusha T have been on a constant battle back and forth for the past few years, and Pusha T reignited the beef a couple days ago when he released his new album, which had the song Infrared, where he was taking shots at Drake and dissing him. Drake responded with the Duppy Freestyle within 24 hours, which had the entire internet going crazy. And then here we are today. Pusha T has officially responded to Drake, and I'm not gonna lie, it's not looking too good for Drake because this right here came with the facts, and I really don't even think that there's a possibility that Drake could come back from something like this.
You are hiding a child, let that boy come home. Deadbeat motherfucker playing border patrol. Ooh, Adonis is your son, and he deserves more than an Adidas press run. That's real.
Now, before we even talk about the song, look at this picture right here. This is actually the cover art for the Pusha T diss that just got released, and as you can see, that's Drake covered in blackface. Now, contrary to popular belief, this picture is actually real, and it's a photo shoot Drake did with a photographer called David Leyes. And if you don't know, blackface is highly offensive, and honestly, I have no clue why Drake would even partake in a photo shoot like this. And I'm pretty sure Drake is gonna catch a lot of heat for this, so I don't even think we have to talk about that one. But going back to the song, all I can say is this was straight up slaughter from Pusha's part. And in my video about this entire beef, I was convinced that Drake had won this entire battle, but as you could hear, this man right here definitely proved me wrong. So now that we have all that out of the way, let's check out the actual lyrics from the diss. I'll break the entire song down and I'll give my thoughts and opinions in between. So this is what Pusha T started off the track with. Drug dealing aside, ghostwriting aside, let's have a heart-to-heart about your pride. Even though you're multi, I see that your soul don't look alive. The M's count different when baby divides the pie. Wait, let me examine why. Now, as you can see, from the very beginning, Pusha T made it very clear. Let's not even talk about me being a drug dealer back in the day. And to make it fair, let's not even talk about your ghostwriting scandal. You would expect that this diss track would contain at least one line about the ghostwriting topic, but you know what? He didn't even mention it once, which really shows me that he was 100% ready and dedicated to talk about some other facts instead of the ghostwriting thing. And this is really smart from Pusha T because he's actually the one who's running the show. He's the one who's calling the shots at the moment, because now if Drake addresses either of those things, he's the person who's now gonna look a little bit stupid. He's gonna look like he doesn't have a lot of lyrical content against Pusha T, just like that guy from the boat who said, look at me, I am the captain now.
Look at me, sure, I'm the captain now.
Yes, that guy right there, that's Pusha T, and he's currently calling the shots. But also, as you could see, he mentioned Drake's pride and said that even though he sells millions of records, his soul doesn't look alive, which is a reference to the track Look Alive featuring Blackboy JB. And then he had some references about baby dividing the pie, and of course here he's talking about Birdman, since Drake is signed with Cash Money Records, and we all know that Birdman is very stingy with the money, if you know what I mean. Now on this next part, Pusha T actually takes it to the next level and discusses Drake's family, and this is what he said. Your music for the past few years been angry and full of lies. I'll start it at the home front, I'm on one. Dennis Graham, stay off the gram, bitch, I'm on one. You mention wedding ring like it's a bad thing. Your father walked away at 5, hell of a dad thing. Marriage is something that Sandy never had, Drake. How you a winner but she keeps coming in last place? And as you can see, Pusha T mentioned Dennis, who is Drake's father if you don't know, and then he mentioned Sandy, which is Drake's own mother. Now on the day the Duppy Freestyle was released, Drake's father went on Instagram and took some shots at Push and told him that his son is not to be fucked with, and that's why he mentioned him and told him to, get off IG. And then he talked about some of the daddy issues Drake has had in his life dealing with his father. And of course, this is something Drake has been very open about in his music, so it's really not a quote-unquote secret, if you know what I mean. And then on this next part of the track, he says, monkey suit Dennis, you parade him. A Steve Harvey suit made him confused, always thought you weren't black enough, afraid to grow it cause your fro wouldn't nap enough. And on this part, as you could see, he had some more comments about Drake's father. Once again, he compared him to Steve Harvey because his dad has a similar style to Steve, and now that I think about it, they low-key do actually look alike, so I guess it makes sense. But then on the second part, as you could see, he poked fun of Drake's hair because Drake used to be known for rocking a big ass afro back in the day that didn't really look right. Now let's move on to the next part where he says this, and this is a pretty long part, so bear with me. Since you name dropped my fiance, let him know who you chose as your Beyonce. Sophie knows better, ask your baby mother, cleaned her up for IG, but the stench is on her. A baby's involved, is deep in a rap. We talking character, let me keep with the facts. You are hiding a child, let that boy come home. Deadbeat motherfucker playing border patrol. Ooh! Adonis is your son and he deserves more than an Adidas press run. That's real. Love that baby, respect that girl, forget she's a porn star, let her be your world. Yeah. Now let's talk about this part right here because this is a little bit interesting to say the least. As you could see, Pusha T mentioned a baby mother Drake has. He also mentioned a supposed child that Drake is hiding. And then he mentioned that Drake's baby mother was a porn star. Now first, let's talk about the part about the Adidas press run and Drake's son deserving more than that. So there's been some rumors for the past few months that Drake was gonna release a collaboration with Adidas, and fast forward to today, it looks like Pusha T actually spilled the beans and messed up Drake's secret collaboration with Adidas by tying that together with a beef. Now a big time journalist by the name of Toure went on Twitter and confirmed this rumor by saying this: Adidon is the name of Drake's upcoming Adidas line, and now that name will be associated with this beef and Pusha T's monstrous diss track. Pusha has in effect screwed up Drake's brand before it came out. And then today Pusha T actually called into the Breakfast Club and exposed the entire thing.
See, the Adidas situation is this. The child, allegedly, his new line on Adidas is called Adidon. But we couldn't know about your child until you start selling sweatsuits and sneakers.
So now that you know all about the Adidon name and what it really means, let's now address the second part of the track, which was about Drake's baby mother. Now Sophie Brousseau, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, was a former adult actress that Drake was involved with in terms of dating. She came out publicly about a year ago claiming that she was pregnant with a kid and Drake was the father according to her. Some text messages leaked presumably by her where she was having a conversation with Drake about his child, and on the leaked messages Drake said that he wanted her to have an abortion, but of course she declined. And that made people suspect and think, I mean, if Drake said what he said, then the child really has to be his, right? And well, that's exactly where King Push comes in, because according to him, that's definitely Drake's child. But let's keep on reading the lyrics and let's check out what Pusha T says on this last part right here. How dare you put yay in my verses? I'm selfish, I want all of the curses. I'm pre-booking the churches, me versus 3 hearses. If we all go to hell, it'll be worth it. Already aligned with the greats, and on that same note, the only ones I chase are 2 ghosts. Still giving you classics, that's the only thing that dates me. OVO 40, hunched over like he 80. Tick, tick, tick. How much time he got, that man is 666. I got the devil flow 666. Surgical summer with it. Snip, snip, snip. And you don't really want it with him. Now, as you can see on that first part of the verse, he talked about Kanye, and from my perspective, Push was kind of challenging Drake and asking him, why are you talking about Kanye like this? And yeah, that does actually make sense, because in the past, Drake has said that Kanye was his biggest influence as far as music goes.
Before I met him, I had the utmost respect for Kanye West. I'd even go as far to say he was probably the most influential person, you know, as far as a musician that I had ever had in my life. So
obviously when Pusha T said what he said, he was kind of talking about how Drake should have shown a little bit of respect towards Ye by not mentioning his name on the Duppy Freestyle. And then as you could see a little bit later on the verse, Push took it a little bit further and decided to include Drake's producer 40 in this entire beef. I can't even lie, that was a little bit savage because he made fun of another man's illness. Now if you don't know what I'm talking about, 40, who's Drake's longtime friend and producer, has a disease that affects his central nervous system, and it can even get to a point where sometimes he's unable to move his body or feel any type of sensation in it.
I woke up one day and all the temperature in my body was distorted. The sense of hot and cold and what that meant to my brain was a very confusing thing. For your body in general, to understand what's going on, you go into a little bit of shock.
The diagnosis? Multiple sclerosis. 40 spent the next 2 years trying to get back on his feet.
And that's why Pusha T rapped how much time he got, that man is sick, sick, sick. Now I know that hip hop is based off of competition and everybody loves seeing other people get roasted and dissed, but damn Push, you really didn't have to roast this man's sickness. Yes, there's way worse things that rappers have done and said, but yeah, I guess this is what it all came to. Now if I'm gonna give my final thoughts on this entire beef, I genuinely don't think there's a way for Drake to come back from this. This whole time I was thinking that Push wouldn't even bother responding, just because the general consensus and response from people was that Drake completely ripped Push apart. And even I was on Drake's side. I thought that he had won this entire beef. But when it comes to a point where you get lyrically destroyed by another man while having fact after fact thrown at you, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to go with Push on this one. Now, what do you personally think about this new diss track by Pusha T? From your perspective, do you think that Pusha T destroyed Drake? And in your personal opinion, who do you currently think has the upper hand here? Definitely let me know in the comment section below and let's have a discussion about this. But as always, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. This channel is all about bringing together people like you who enjoy music and start a discussion on different topics like this. And of course, like the video if you enjoyed it, follow me on all my social media accounts. It's on the screen and I'm out.